time to dry.
So who cares? Why not do your own thing and let them say what they want?
What's up, guys, and welcome to another Jeep video. Today we are going to be washing my Jeep for the first time. Now, the reason that I want to do this now is because, one, I went through a particularly tight trail and I got a bunch of trail rash on the side of my Jeep, so I want to wash it down, make sure it's pH balanced with this, the Meguiar's Gold Class Car Wash. Not sponsored. I know I have a lot of Meguiar stuff here today, but it's just because I've been doing a lot of research and I wanted to get what I thought to be the best products with the best reviews. But anyway, getting that out of the way, I want to see how much of the trail rash, particularly on the hard top, is actually scratches. Maybe none of it is. I'm suspecting that none of it is, but I want to do it properly instead of like licking my finger and rubbing dirt and making micro scratches all over the paint job. And okay, did you guys see my Jeep ASMR? Well, during that Jeep ASMR, I did take off my old stock antenna and put on a smaller, short, stubby one. Well, I think my brain actually blocked it out, but I actually put a scratch on my fucking Jeep. And it's not like a tiny one that's not noticeable, it is there. In fact, I'll insert some overlay footage here, which I'll be doing a lot of because I'm not gonna be moving the camera or really focusing on filming. I'm going to try to circumvent having any other problems where I'm ruining my fucking car by actually focusing on the job at hand and just having the video be more like a montage that I'm not really paying attention to, but you got the footage, so it's gonna make like a pretty video that I can edit afterwards and you'll enjoy watching it. But I must have put a mental block there and not noticed it or something. But when I came out here in the daylight again, I noticed it and I'm like, oh my god. So today, after washing, pH balancing, and prepping, we are going to try to fix the scratch that I put in the side of it ourselves. I've watched a lot of videos, I've done a lot of research, and I think this is a good test of whether or not I can ever be patient. I'm relatively good at picking things up just by watching other people do it, and I'm a really quick learner, but at a certain point, I just get really impatient and just want to finish the job. Now, had I been patient with removing the antenna in the first place, instead of being annoyed at the first wrench that I got, I would have been more focused and known to put something around the wrench so that it had no contact with the Jeep. I would have taken my time, and I would have had a better result. My entire life, I've had a problem with being patient, with following instructions, and with doing things thoroughly and correctly. I like to just wing it, or I get bored of things quickly, like I can never finish a drawing perfectly. At some point, I would just start winging it. And yeah, to a lot of people, I think this would be a huge deal, and when I first noticed it, my heart dropped, and it wasn't because there's a scratch there, but it's because I inflicted that scratch on something that I love, that I paid for, that I worked hard for, because of myself, because I'm stupid. It would have been totally different. Like, let's say I wash the Jeep, there's some trail rash on it that's not coming off, I have to buff it out or something, which is something I'm prepared to do. I got a dual action polisher, but we'll talk about that later. If that's the case, that's fine, because I got that as a mark of honor while using the Jeep as intended off-road. It's not something that I explicitly fucked up while doing some menial tiny task that was extremely easy that shouldn't have yielded those results. So I was pissed at myself, but at the same time, this is my baby. I want to fix it to the best of my ability, and if it ends up being the worst fixed job ever, I do have the money and the option to put my tail between my legs, swallow my pride, take it in, and get it fixed. I don't expect this to be a job that makes it look like it never happened, but I don't want to see any crack in that beautiful firecracker red. So, let me show you some of the things that I have here in my box. We've got Meguiar's Detailer. This is, it's gonna be a polisher. A dual action polishing thingy. I've watched a lot of videos on this, so I don't think I'll fuck this up. Pretty beginner friendly. But my whole life I have been waxing and polishing cars by hand. This is gonna be a godsend. In the interest of being more patient, I'm actually, while I am waxing and polishing the car, I'm actually gonna tape off with the paint tape. I forget what it's called. Oops, dropped my keys. I'm actually gonna masking tape off all of the plastic parts so there's no like discoloration from the wax or whatever. I don't know how much wax is in the polisher because it's like a 2-in-1 deal. So I don't know how white it's gonna be, how much residue there's gonna be, but just further in the interest of trying my best to learn to be a more patient and thorough person who doesn't do shit jobs of things, we're actually gonna do that. We've got brand new everything in terms of washing a car. Brand new mitt, I have 2 of them. I'm actually gonna use one to buff off the residue from the wax / polish because I didn't get a 3rd microfiber cloth. We are doing the 2-bucket wash method, one with clean water, and in the bottom, you can't see it right here, but I will overlay some footage of the grit grabber. And And this is the suds. All of that is filtered water. I didn't have any way to obtain a large amount of like humidifier water that will have like no contaminants in it, but that's why we're gonna be polishing it and hopefully drying off the car as soon as we can so that we get no water spots and no additional residue. I really hope that I'm not putting micro scratches in the paint by using my regular hard water. We shall see. I don't know. Again, this is me just trying to learn to be self-sufficient in the ways of auto detailing, auto modding, and eventually maybe even some mechanics work, which is something I've always wanted to be good at. Over here, you can't see it right now, but I'll overlay some footage. I have all of the connections that have electrical power running to them off of the ground and as far over to the wall as possible, along with the camera here that you guys are looking at me through. That's gonna stay all the way back there. And then the scariest part, we have Mopar touch-up paint in Firecracker Red. It comes with a bunch of different tips, and it has the colored portion, the base coat, as well as the top coat down here. A lot of people have said in the reviews that the top coat is really chunky. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use these little toothpick detailer thingies that have little cotton swabs on the top, and I'm gonna do a slow job at building up this paint. I have distilled water here in a small quantity so that I can like wash off the area that I'm working on and to use it so I can wet sand down any particles that are sticking up from me actually shoving a wrench into the side of my Jeep. Microfiber drying towel, and here is the 3000 grit automotive wet sanding paper. I am so afraid of this. I don't have a sanding stone thing, so what I'm gonna do, it's funny, I was thinking about something I could wrap this around, and I actually got a die from one of my magic decks, and I'll wrap it around that, and we will go slow, and we will smooth slowly in increments, and we will add paint slowly in increments, and I am so confident that by the end it's gonna look much better than it does right now. So what I'm gonna do right now, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm gonna take Victor over there, and we're gonna do a quick look at the Jeep beforehand, as well as I'm gonna take some overlay footage of that scratch. And then we're gonna move the Jeep back as far as we can so that I'm even farther away from you guys and all of the electrical equipment, and we will get started. I will rinse the car with my hose, which I'm not happy to do because I think that's the hardest of water. Even though we have a water softener, I still think it's pretty hard water. And we will start to wash, which is something I've done a million times in my life. I've washed my parents' cars numerous times. I've washed my first car as well numerous times, but never like a $50,000 new car that I plan on also polishing with a power tool afterwards, which is something I've never done before, so wish me luck. Let's learn by doing, and also by beforehand watching a lot of YouTube videos of people who are master detailers. Let's go. By the way, guys, I want to apologize real quick about Reaper's first car wash not being a super sexy bikini version, but just wait until summer because it is like 40 degrees, if you can't tell. By the way, I'm dressed. Onward with the lubricating of the Jeep via hard water. Hopefully I can even get this shitty fucking hose to work. I'm not gonna detail the tires or anything. The tires are gonna get dirty tomorrow, but I just wanna make the body as clean as possible. All right, let's do it. I am ready. Is that zoomed in good? Let's go.
I would have given more. I tied my children to a dying horse, stacked up against me. The bodies heaved and stank upon the gore. On the earth lying still, my father found me there, ashamed and dying there. I had spent many years destroying all around, took everything I found.
All right, one more pass and we'll be ready to rinse.
the dying fall. His voice left him. It shouldn't be this way. Do not hope for any other. And he picked up.
Time to dry. Don't want to leave any spots.
I would have given more. They brought me misery, and they would not falter. We put down our ratchets upon them day and night with brutal force and might. To dead men and absent, there are no friends left to describe the things we do.
Okay, so I apologize. My footage stopped as I was drying, but drying is kind of a time-sensitive process because you don't want, especially the hard water droplets, to dry onto the actual paint. So I did that. I finished most of it, and I really wish I had gotten like 3 or 4 cloths because the cloth got wet pretty quick. Reaper, although a small Jeep, is still a very large vehicle, so a couple of them to keep it actually dry would have been better. So what I'm gonna do real quick is I'm gonna lightly go over it with this. This is a clean, dry one, and make sure there's no actual extra water. Hopefully this isn't a bad idea. I like the way this looks. And then we're gonna assess the damage with Victor up close and with a bright light shining directly at the Jeep so we can see if there's any actual residual trail rash. I saw on some of the plastic parts that there is, and it looks like there still is on part of the hard top, which kind of sucks. I can always get a soft top. There's like 3 like vultures sitting on top of my neighbor's house right now. What the fuck? This is not good at all for this job. It has way too many linty, fuzzy things coming off of it. But yes, we do have some permanent trail rash. None of it seems to actually be something I can stick my fingernail into on the paint job on the actual Firecracker Red, which is good. I did find 1 or 2 other little like rock chip nicks. One where Jay would enter the vehicle behind the actual door handle, which I'm really confused about, like what was he doing? Maybe I'll try fix that one as well, I don't know. But he's shiny now. Inspection time. There's some there on the front fender, which is whatever because I want to replace these fenders anyway. You can see that the majority of it is at the top here on the door. And this stuff I cannot stick my nail into. So this is something that I can buff out. So I might actually be buffing that out today. There is that horrible thing I want to fix. There's some actually on the Rubicon sticker, just a little bit, which is kind of annoying because I like the Rubicon sticker and I don't think I can like buff here. Right there where my nail is the door handle nick. Like what was Jay even doing? I can't imagine. And then we still have some legit trail rash here on the hard top. I don't know what to do about this one. You can't buff this out, I don't think. It goes all the way down the side there. And then in the back, right there. This is pretty scuffed up, but I don't care because again, like these are all rock chip type things. And then there's a little rock chip you can see right here, which I'm actually probably gonna try fix. Moving on to the other side, a little bit of trail rash here. I don't know what the fuck I scuffed here. That's pretty funny. No idea, but it doesn't matter. Fender flare's gonna go anyway. And it doesn't look like there's anything on my side. What's that? That's a fuzzy. Yeah, everything over here except for like a little bit right there. I don't know if you guys can see, it's just like right there. And my Rubicon looks good on this side. And then there's a hair. And some scrapes here. Look at him all shiny and clean. And there aren't that many spots. I don't think I left any spots. No water spots. So I think I did a decent job of washing at least. But now, before any of that, I want to take care of this. All right, guys, now that we've assessed what happened, I'm gonna go ahead and take off that antenna. I'm gonna tape up around that area, and I'm gonna do the first step, which is isopropyl. And then, well, do I sand it first? I think I sanded, then I isopropyl. And then I try to very, very gently and lightly put on some paint. Let's zoom in for this. Wish me luck. Look at that sexy Jeep though. Oh my God. What a good wash job I did. It's not perfect, but it's almost perfect, you know? I think I'm gonna try the sanding on this like logo that I hate here. And I'm gonna try the paint here where I fucked this up with my wrench last time without using something like this to make sure that it didn't get fucked up. Just so that I kind of know how runny the paint is already, and to just get a better idea of things so I don't just go gung-hoing it and then ending up regretting that. Okay, so it's so weird, but this very easily sanded off the logo, and now it's like kind of dull where that was, but still kind of shiny. Very weird. I don't know what to make of this, but I'm gonna wet sand a little bit and see what happens. So we're gonna put it around my dye like that, and I'm gonna get it wet with my distilled water. I am nervous. I dropped it in the water. I just dropped the dye straight into the water that I used to wash the car as I was trying to wrap the sandpaper around it. Oh man. I think I want to cut this so I'm not using such a large, unruly piece of whatever. So I'm going to be right back. Normally I would just be like, fuck it, I don't want to go back inside, but let's do this right. Patience. I wonder if I sharpen my scissors by cutting sandpaper. All right. There it is. Okay, that feels pretty smooth. Isopropyl wipe, Mopar paint pen. Gotta shake. This is what it looks like.
When I wake up, I wanna see you. Bring me the light.
I put some in, doesn't look great, but it's a little more red. Now we just wait. I put some on here and used one of the Q-tip things because neither the paintbrush nor the pen seemed to be like a good option. It didn't seem to be precise. The pen you had to keep depressing like paint pens usually you have to, so that was annoying. BRB. I don't know if you can see back there, right there, but while we wait, I've decided to tape off a place and try to use this and see how it works. We're gonna use the chillest pad, the most chill pad possible, this one. And I'm actually gonna have to unplug you guys because I need the extension cable to reach a little bit farther so that I can get to the spot that I want to do, and I don't want to move. Should I don't know. I don't think it's dry here, so I don't think I should have the power extender thing out there in the water. So yeah, I will see you guys in a bit. I'll record it with Victor. Okay, so we're gonna try power number 1 at first, just to get a hang of it. But this is an area that definitely has some trail rash, and this is the stuff that I'm gonna be using. Ultra polishing wax, and it says work in the shade or on a cool surface. It's freezing. Apply product to your pad or disc of choice. God, my hands are so cold I can't feel them. Ugh. Okay, nothing yet. All right, let's apply a little bit more. We're supposed to go to like 6, I think. But first, let's apply a little bit more paint. Ugh. Try number 2. shiny, but it doesn't look any better. The trailer rash is still there. Let's try 5. I mean, it's shinier, but it's definitely not getting rid of the trail rash. Maybe I need like a 3-step process. Should we try a harder pad? Let's try a harder pad. Same thing. You can still see it. What's up, guys? I'm back and I have been buffing the side of my Jeep. I taped off all of the like plastic and rubber parts and things that I don't want any kind of wax or polishing agent on. And I've been using the polisher. At first I didn't think there was any change, as you can see in the footage that I recorded before with Victor. Victor's now in the house charging because he died. But it seemed like I wasn't making a difference, and then I realized that I was, especially from certain angles. And other angles that didn't look like I made a difference, like it was still there, the trail rash. It was probably because I wasn't doing both horizontal and vertical motions. I stand corrected. See, you can see the trail rash on the left, but on the right, you have to like come like from underneath. It's like much harder to see. You can still see it from underneath. I think it is a lot better over here where I polished. And I think I'll get better at it as I go. So I've started to tape off the rest of this side of the Jeep. And then this, once I'm done with it, I think I'm gonna put one more coat and then I'm gonna put a clear coat. But once I'm done with that, I have to wait 48 hours before I can sand it down in order to not actually disturb the paint. It's so weird, you can still see the black. But I'm glad I'm doing something, because if I don't do something, it could rust. Even now, once I buff this again and make this shiny, it still looks a little bit better, because at least it's red now instead of dark black. So I wanted to try with everything hooked up. Hopefully I don't like over surge anything. I don't know if this extension cable has a power surge protector or anything like that, but we are going to try to film me buffing the side of the Jeep. Then we're gonna switch to the front, and then I'm gonna do the other side, and I shall be done for the day after I put the clear coat on top of the red paint that I've been doing, which is looking better and better. At first, it looked really black, like you could still see the metal through, but now on my 3rd coat, it's starting to look a little bit better. So here's hoping everything goes well. I'm very happy with how shiny and cute my Jeep is. I'm doing okay. I'm being kind of patient, but still, at the same time, I am not anymore sure that I'm doing anything right. I am just doing my best to try to be aware and cognizant of what I am doing, and if I'm talking a little bit weird, it is because I am so cold in the hands that they barely work, and my jaw is so cold, it barely works. All right, let me show you what I've been doing.
I charge myself off your body. The darkness deepens.
Alright guys, I think I'm gonna finish this up off camera because you're basically just seeing a time lapse at this point. I'm not really doing anything different. I'm gonna put the clear coat, which you will see in Victor footage, small point and shoot close-up footage, on the little scratch. Okay boys, I have now finished pretty much everything. This is what it looks like at this point. It's pretty ugly, I'm not gonna lie. There's also these two right here. This one and the other one that you can tell are pretty bumped up. So once they fully dry, which takes 48 hours, I'm gonna come back out, I'm gonna sand them down, and then I'm going to look at it and see how I feel about it, and hopefully not have to do any more, and then I'm gonna polish it, and hopefully you won't be able to see it. It won't be like matte and then a big old lump of color, but this looks pretty good. I was actually sitting there and just putting like some red on the places that I scratched and then putting some clear coat, and I was able to make this look really good, other than the fact that this matches the car but the rest of it doesn't. And that was natural, that's how it came, which is kind of weird. I just put that in there for now. I'll take it back off when I come back out here to finish up in 2 days. I also did this here, the thing that Jay scratched, and that down there, and they're a little bumped up right now. This one's completely done. That needs a clear coat. Everything else, like, look how shiny. I'll give you the run around. We're gonna walk entirely around the car. It looks so much better, even though we do have these, but it just looks so much cleaner, so much shinier. I think I did a good job for my first time. I didn't do any buffing of the back. I really need to get something where I can hand polish. In fact, I'm probably gonna order something on Amazon for hand polishing, but it's just so clean. You can barely see any trail rash on any of the red parts. Just occasionally from certain angles you can see something like that. I didn't really even polish this area. I almost feel like I should get one of those like little armor stickers for this because they look kind of cute. Look at that. Shiny, shiny. That was a scary process, but I'm glad I got through it. And I think I did a decent job. At least as decent as can be expected for the first try without any experience. Being as impatient as I am, and I do feel like some of what I did was still fueled by being really impatient. And it was weird because I watched a lot of people do the buffing on the car and it looked like it left more wax than I was getting left on my car. So I didn't know if I was putting enough wax, even though I felt like I was putting too much. I don't know, we will learn as we go and eventually it'll get easier. It feels so smooth. Technically, I'm not even supposed to touch it with my hand because that's an abrasive, but I love touching him. See you in 2 days. So I'll come back on, I think it will be Saturday afternoon, sand it, polish it, and hope it looks good. So we will see you then.
48 hours later.
Am I recording? I am recording. What's up, guys? It has been 48 hours, a little bit more than 48 hours, I think, because it's 1:08, so maybe a little, like an hour less or an hour more, not sure. But we are back out here at the Jeep Wrangler, and we have let this cure for 48 hours, all of these little spots here. Let's see what this one looks like. That one's not great, but whatever. I just wanted to make it red again. And then that one looks good. I'm just gonna leave those two alone. I'm not even gonna sand them down, but I am going to be sanding this one down and hopefully it looks good and then I can just like polish it up. I didn't bring out the dual action polisher because I think I can polish it by hand. Oh, I also forgot to get a wrench. So I gotta go back and I gotta get a wrench. I gotta get scissors just in case I need to cut a new little piece of 3000 grit sanding, automotive sanding, wet sanding paper, whatever the fuck. Okay, so I'm gonna take this off by hand and I'm actually gonna sand down these parts now too. I am so nervous, you guys. Hopefully we don't have to add more paint. Hopefully, but I brought it out just in case. All right, guys, there it is before we sanded it down and polished it back up. It's a little bumpy, especially on these two parts because I didn't sand these two down before I did them, which was probably one of my hasty mistakes, but I really hope it doesn't just stay this dull. I really hope I didn't take off too much clear coat because I'm not gonna like put clear coat all over this part and then have like really bumpy giant globs of clear coat, so okay. We are gonna do this. We're gonna do it well. It's gonna be great. All good vibes. We gotta make sure we actually sand level to the Jeep this time. You know, I can never become like a guru with a YouTube channel that does a lot of mechanic type stuff or a lot of Jeep modding stuff where I'm like knowledgeable, because you guys have seen me in this like very beginning vulnerable stage where I don't know anything about anything. And you guys can always look back on this and be like, well, I knew more than her back then, so why am I taking advice from her, you know? Wet sanding. And just take our time, okay? We're just gonna take our time. No pressure. It still looks like darker than it should. I'm not getting any red on here, which is good though. I'll always see this. I can still see it, even if I did a good job. Everyone says that, or like online, they say that the biggest failure is not sanding enough. Let's start on that part here. Give that one a break, because I'm getting angsty. I'm getting anxious. I'm getting angsty. It's getting flatter. This is still pretty not flat. I don't know how hard the paint is on Jeep Wranglers, but it looks like some of it is like coming off a little bit, so I don't know. It seems to be doing what it's supposed to do. It looks so black. I think I'm making progress. It just sucks that these parts are like not shiny now, and I'm afraid they never will be again. Here's what we have Doesn't look great. It's really dark. Like you can see the black through, like the paint was so translucent, but I don't know, maybe I got some air bubbles in there. I feel like since it's already not shiny, I should sand it more so that you can't really feel it. This is really obviously an amateur job, but continuing on. Okay, that's pretty flat. I think I'm gonna leave it like that. All right, I don't know, let's try polish it and see what it looks like. It looks kind of polished. Why is it so dark? Well, at least I know I can polish it. But now it's like a polished ass bump. How did I fuck this up? I thought it would turn out better. Well, it polished back up pretty well, actually. This is pretty bumpy still. This is slightly bumpy, but it's so dark. It like barely looks better. I don't know why it's darker. Is it just because I'm seeing the metal through it? At least it's actually super shiny. So I know we can do that. We're not gonna have a really weird, non-shiny part. Should I do a little more sanding? I think I'm just gonna leave it, because I'm not sure if I would do a better job. I'm definitely disappointed, that's for sure. Not gonna lie, why is this fucking zoomed in? Not gonna lie, I'm pretty disappointed in myself. And I'm pretty disappointed in the job that I did, but learning experience, I suppose. From far away, it's not gonna look like shit. And of course, I'm gonna get a lot more cuts and dents and bruises and things on Reaper. It's just annoying that right now he's pristine and I did such dumb shit to him somehow, like a fucking moron, and then I wasn't able to fix it. Like, I had high hopes. I guess I shouldn't have, because this does seem like a difficult thing to do, but at least it's red again. I did right by Reaper, protecting him from getting any kind of rusting, and I don't know, I wish I had like a better outcome for this video. I mean, this still looks pretty cool, and this looks nicer now that it doesn't have the logo, and there's no actual scratches on it. Looks good from far away. Let's show you. See? You can't tell anything ever happened, hopefully. I mean, I can from even here because of how dark it is. I just wish it was the right color red. I don't understand why it never covered up the metal portion, the metal look. Because underneath the metal is really dark. It's like an iron color. At least it's shiny. That was my biggest fear. And hopefully from here on out, I take this every time I look at that as a lesson to be fucking patient and to do things right and to not act like I can just do something and gung-ho the fuck out of it. And hopefully that'll be a reminder, because Reaper suffered for it. And now my ego suffers for it. If you guys have any thoughts or opinions, obviously you guys can call me an idiot, because I 100% agree. And if you have any ideas, let me know. It's so dumb to worry about, you know, because in a different situation I wouldn't mind. Like, I don't mind that little scrape on the Rubicon sticker. I don't mind any of that stuff as much as I mind that. No more whining and complaining. Cutting to the end of the video. The ending, which I filmed 48 hours ago when I was a more hopeful Tara. Bye, guys. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Like the video and subscribe to the channel. I hope you enjoyed this video. I had so much fun. I cannot wait to further actually mod out my Jeep so that you guys can see me like change fender flares. Of course, I'm gonna be filming the first time I ever take off the doors and the top. And let's just continue this little Jeep escapades while I work on Reaper and become an all-around better person who knows a little bit more about cars and at least modding Jeeps. If you guys like this kind of content, please let me know by liking the video and commenting. And if you have any idea what I should do about the trail rash on the hardtop, on the black portion of the hardtop, please do let me know, because painting it doesn't seem like a good idea because it is like some weird textured matte paint. And I've seen online that the Mopar touch-up paint for the hardtop doesn't seem to match perfectly. I didn't like any of the pictures that a lot of the people posted online of it. And there's no way for me to like sand it down and make it look more perfect like I can on the body of the Jeep. I hope you enjoyed this. Maybe you guys are learning with me. Maybe you guys are cringing at the fact that I'm so far behind, but hey, at least I'm trying to better myself and learn and do things on my own rather than just like hoping someone else will do it for me. New skills acquired, shiny Jeep created. Bye, guys.
I'll raise my hand to break you if I don't